Hello, it's Tomasz from Safi Advisory Services Limited. Today I'd like to tell you a few things about the new system, Making Tax Digital, MTD. That's the new system that will start from April 2026 in Britain, and it will apply to self-employed people as well as to landlords. Those who had turnover of over £50,000 in the year 24-25 will be obliged to prepare tax returns in a new system. So I would like to say in few words what will change and how to prepare for it. So if you are self-employed or if you're renting a property, this movie is for you. So what is changing? From April 2026, there will be a new system where instead of submitting one yearly tax return, self-employed persons as well as landlords will need to submit quarterly statements to HMRC and then one yearly submission at the end of the year using a specialized accountancy software. Under a current system, it was fine to collect all your data and submit one yearly report after the tax year ended. From April 2026, it will be required to keep your records in the accountancy software, make quarterly submissions, and make one yearly submission at the end of the year, on which it will be possible to add income from other sources, make minor adjustments, and add things like allowances or make certain corrections. While today it is still fine to keep paper records, then from April 2026, it will be important to have all records kept in digital format. That is the major change. But is it something to be worried about? I don't think so. Actually, it might help us to have a better understanding of our business, of what is happening in the business, and the new system will help to estimate the amount of tax that will be due after the end of the tax year. Well, that is actually one of the main reasons why HMRC introduced this system. It is to help people to understand the business affairs on the go. So how this will work in practice? You will need to use accountancy software in which you will have the details of all your transactions, money in, money out. You will need to invoice directly from the accountancy software, and ideally, such software will be connected to the bank account in order to download transactions directly from your bank account. This is a very similar system to something that limited companies are already doing, or even self-employed people who are VAT registered. The VAT system works in a very similar way, where you are submitting quarterly reports to HMRC through designated software. In practice, it is very easy, and I will talk about few practical things, how to prepare for MTD and how to make the transition very smooth. The year will be split into 4 quarters. After each quarter, it will be required to submit a report to HMRC directly from the software, and there will be a month and 7 days to make the submission. So here it is an important change comparing to the current system. In a current system, you had many months to complete and submit tax return, a yearly tax return after the tax year ended. Here, the deadline will be much shorter. So it is very important to update data on the go rather than waiting for the last minute. So for example, for the first quarter, that will be April, May, and June, the deadline to submit the report to HMRC will be 7th of August. Similarly, July, August, and September will have to be submitted by November the 7th. Following 4 quarterly submissions, there will be one final annual declaration on which additional income from other sources can be added, where some minor adjustments can be made. Well, someone might think that under the new system, it would be fine to submit nil returns and then final return with all the data at the end of the year, even though that final annual declaration will allow for corrections. It is important to be as accurate as possible on the quarterly submissions. HMRC will be able to compare quarterly submissions to the annual final declaration. And if there's going to be big discrepancies, it might trigger HMRC questioning the accuracy of those quarterly reports. So I would definitely recommend to be as accurate as possible during the year. Payment deadlines for the payment of tax will remain the same. That will still be 31st of January and 31st of January and 31st of July for deposits if there would be any. So it means that the tax will still be due by the 31st of January, but you will have an insight after each quarter of an estimated yearly tax from your business. Who will have the obligation to submit tax returns in the new system, Making Tax Digital? That will be everyone who had the turnover of over £50,000 from self-employment or from letting a property, or combined from those two sources. HMRC will look at the tax return from 24-25 in order to establish if someone should start with an MTD. Every year, that threshold will drop down and ultimately everyone will submit their returns in the new system. For example, from April 2027, a year later, everyone with a turnover of over £30,000 will join MTD. There will be a requirement to use an accountancy software that is compatible with the MTD system. It doesn't mean that the software has to be expensive. There are other ways to minimize that cost, and that's something that I will tell you about in a moment. Firstly, there's no need to panic. It is a fairly easy process and it's not difficult to learn to use the software. Even if you used spreadsheets or even if you prepared your tax returns manually, the software that is available is very user-friendly, and with the assistance of an accountant, I think it will be a very easy process to learn, and actually it could be quite fun to work with the accountancy software rather than preparing your records manually. So how to get prepared? Before the April 2026, I would definitely recommend to open a business bank account. Why? It is to get into a habit of separating private transactions from business transactions. Up to this point, currently, it was possible to have an income and expenses, business income and expenses on our private account, where private transactions such as utility bills or spendings at the restaurants could be mixed with those business transactions. It wasn't a big deal. However, under the new system, it will make things easier if business transactions will be separate from private transactions. By having a business account on which there will be a business income from your sales, then business expenses such as for materials, tools, advertising, accountancy, everything will be kept in one place. Whenever you will need funds to support your private living, you can always transfer the funds from business account to the private account. Most of the banks would charge fees for operating a business bank account. However, there is a solution. There is a Mettle bank. You will find the link in the description under this movie. Mettle offers free business banking to small businesses. And what's more, with Mettle Bank, you will have access to subsidized accountancy software. Free Agent, that's the accountancy software that we use in our practice in Safi Advisory, as we find it very user-friendly, very easy to navigate, and it's very easy to learn how to use the program. So many of our clients are very happy using Free Agent. It's the program that I would recommend, especially for this MTD system. So prior to April 2026, the best thing that you can do is open Mettle bank account and try to build a habit of separating business transactions from your private transactions. So use Mettle Bank for your business needs, while your private bank account should be used for your private transactions only. What is important to know and understand is the fact that cash expenses will still be possible. Business bank account can be integrated with an accountancy software. What it means is that all the business transactions will be present in the accountancy software, and that will be helpful to prepare quarterly reports, and based on that records, tax reports will be prepared. Here at Safi Advisory Services, we will provide support to our clients. We will teach how to use the software. We will help get the software connected with the bank account and have everything ready for Making Tax Digital. We invite our clients to come and visit us for consultation, which can also be done online. And we will start such sessions from February 2026 onwards. So February, March, April, in any of those months, That will be a time to book an appointment with your accountant in order to get everything ready for MTD. From April 2026, the way how we work will change. The contact will be more frequent. Communication with our clients will be more frequent. The reason why is that we will not prepare one return only once per year. There will be regular returns, so that will require regular contact and regular updates of the data in accountancy software. Naturally, we will move to the monthly fees instead of one annual payment for the yearly tax return preparation. However, that fee doesn't need to be big. The more organized you are, the quicker it takes to help you. So by using the business bank account, by separating business transactions from your private transactions, that will help massively to get things organized. Secondly, by opening Mettle bank account and having access to subsidized accountancy software, that cost, the monthly cost of accountancy software will be gone, which can be a significant expense alone, if not subsidized. I would also like to warn you about some potential scams. As with anything that is new, some scammers can take opportunity. It is not unlikely that some scammers might pretend that they are HMRC and send you text messages or emails requesting some data. Our clients can always check with us if the message that they received is genuine, if it's truly from HMRC, and if this is something they should act upon. And also take some advertising with a pinch of salt, especially if someone is promising too much for too little. I stumbled across one advertising on social media where a company promises to take care of all the MTD submissions, bookkeeping, and everything for, well, very, very low price, which would mean that human oversight couldn't take more than 15 or 20 minutes per month. And it might not be the wisest idea to give someone all the financial information about ourselves, and beware of unprofessional companies promising the moon. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Some ads claim they'll do everything on autopilot for just £20 a month. No human review, no error checking. But those unchecked mistakes don't disappear. They go straight to HMRC, making audits easier, and that is riskier for you. I've stumbled upon an interesting advertising on social media where such company offers full service for just £20 a month, while on their website they claim it is 420 a year. Well, ask yourself, if someone can't even do the basic math, that £20 a month is not 420 per year, would you trust them with your accounts? And how careful they will be with your financial data? Choose real professionals. Choose human verification. Peace of mind costs less than a penalty. AI can be a fantastic tool that is helpful in preparation of a data, in summarizing information, especially when there is a lot of data to go through. However, that human insight is invaluable. At Safi, we guarantee your filings will never be fully automated. Every submission to HMRC is reviewed and approved by a qualified human every time. AI is powerful, but it still struggles with intent and nuance. It can make mistakes or simply hallucinate. Relying solely on AI might work only if the user has complete knowledge and never makes errors. In reality, AI often misses if the expense should be used as private or business, and it won't inherently know if all eligible allowances and deductions have been applied. A human who understands your business can spot those gaps and suggest better solutions. Yes, AI helps run a smarter business and can be used where it adds value. But trusting AI alone has already proved costly in the UK, including reported tax tribunal losses where arguments were prepared exclusively by AI. That's why at Safi we put quality first, and we promise that a real professional will always check and sign off your returns before they are sent to HMRC. Human judgment, human accountability here at Safi. This material is for information purposes only. It is not a tailored tax advice. If you would like to have precise advice tailored to your needs, feel free to contact us. Please feel welcome to send us any questions you might have about MTD, and feel free to share this video with your friends who might also be interested in upcoming changes. Thank you very much.